Hey, everybody, good evening, and welcome to a wonderful Monday night of talk about tech and life. This is Rodney Garcia. This is your host for this wonderful second episode of Curious Talk Live. And we want to just welcome you to our second time of doing this live stream. And thank you so much for, especially those who joined us last week. For our first pop-up episode, as I would say, because we didn't really we only planned to have one on the day itself. So now it's a little bit more, we got a little bit more time to kind of promote it. Let's just hope that there are more people watching right now. We are actually live on Facebook and also on YouTube, and hopefully we're also live on Twitch and other channels as well. Thank you for joining us tonight. So tonight we're going to be having this topic, and later on we're going to be talking about more about it. But basically, the topic for tonight is remember life before the internet. Remember life before the internet, and I think we kind of talked about it last week, just a little bit, and to kind of because we were talking about technology last week that would change your life. So we kind of talked about it, scratched the surface. So, but tonight we're devoting an entire episode for this particular topic, which is remember life before the internet. Maybe some of you don't, maybe some of you do. That's why we're going to talk about it today. And also, not just that, but we're gonna open the lines tonight. What am I saying? We have now the capabilities for this program to invite you to the conversation, not just through chat, which is you can actually, wherever you're watching this particular show, whether you're watching it on Facebook or watching it on YouTube, we do have we do have a way of knowing that you are responding through the chat lines, and we can actually show it on the screen right now and at the same time respond. Okay, but other than the chat part, we're gonna do something, and hopefully someone out there has the guts to actually do this. We're gonna be sharing to you a link, and then all you need to do is just get to that link, and then you are going to put your name there, and then you're just gonna pop out right here in my console, and then you have the opportunity to share either on audio or on video or both, um, whatever the answer that you or whatever you wanted to share tonight. Sounds cool, no? But again, if you're gonna do that, we want to make sure that there's no profanity, nothing like that. It's still a family show, and it's still a show that we want to make sure that people can enjoy. All right. So again, but before we go to that, I do want to share a few tech news from you, from what happened these past few days. I'm going to be sharing two things today that maybe has slipped your mind. One is something tech related, and another thing I'm going to be sharing is something Tito tech related. Okay, especially for those who might be within my age, 40-ish kind of. Eh? But let me share to you first what happened a few days ago. If you know this, let me change my so that at least you can see this. So basically, LG. Does anybody remember LG? LG is one of those very known companies that basically make different appliances. There was a time that they jumped into the mobile creation business or mobile phone creation business. But today, or a few days ago, April 5, LG Electronics announced that it is closing its mobile business unit. So basically, they are going to stop making phones. Okay. Do you have an LG phone, by the way? Or have you ever used an LG phone? But starting April 5, they have decided, and it's approved by the board, that they're going to be closing their mobile business unit. So they're not going to be making any more phones. And what they said here was it is a strategic decision to exit the incredibly competitive mobile phone sector and they can now focus their resources in growth areas such as electric vehicle components, connected devices, smart homes, robotics, artificial intelligence, and business to business solutions, as well as platforms and services. Now, if you are an LG phone owner, do not worry. They will still provide support. They will still provide software updates of the existing models for a period of time. They didn't really say how long of a time they will be supporting the products, but I hopefully we're on probably around 2 years. Of course, they didn't say that. That's just me, because especially if you've still got some, at least 2 years, especially if you've got some products still out there in the market, you don't just want to drop them like a hot potato. So basically, LG is giving up on the mobile phone uh, business, and that is completely understandable. Why? Because, like what they said here, they mentioned it here already, that they are exiting the incredibly competitive mobile phone sector. That in itself is your reason. It is a very competitive sector. There was a time it wasn't as competitive as it we would want it to be, but now it is very competitive, specifically when we talk about phones like the iPhone. We want to talk about phones like phones from coming from Samsung. And of course, we cannot talk about the other products, other brands that may not be known, or are creeping into the market share of Samsung and Apple. By the way, like like the providers coming from Huawei, Xiaomi, you know, and other probably not so known brands, but maybe because of their pricing, they're very competitive with their pricing, and some people they're not really into brands as much as possible. They just want to make sure that they use it properly. So so they buy something a little bit more cheaper. So again, LG is going out of the mobile industry or the mobile market. It is really it's been very competitive, specifically when the iPhone was released. In my opinion, my humble opinion, I may be wrong. Again, it's an opinion. I believe it became more competitive when the iPhone came in, because it really pushed the phone into not just a cellular phone, but it became a smartphone. And then a lot of things are now happening. You can do a lot of things now with the phone. In fact, you may even be watching this show on a phone, right? So again, it's a very competitive time, and it's actually a very competitive at the same time, an exciting time to be in the market. But again, maybe LG isn't picking up when it comes to sales, because people either prefer an iPhone, or when you talk about Android, they rather get a Samsung, or maybe they'd rather go for the not so, or I wouldn't say not so famous. I probably use the word emerging brands. I think that's a great word. Emerging brands such as Xiaomi and Huawei. So, well, again, thank you for LG for at least trying. I mean, and at least, one thing great about LG too, they may not be excelling in the area of the phones, but they are excelling in other areas as well, specifically in the appliance section. Um, I own like two appliances that are LG, and they're very good, right? But they did mention they're going to be focusing on smart homes and technologies and robotics and all of that. So this is not the last time we're going to be seeing LG in the market. They're going to come back with a vengeance, but not necessarily in the market of the phones. All right, but probably on another time and another area of business. I want to share to you a second one here. Let me see if I can do this again, and it's gonna pop up just very quickly. This came. Let me share this here. I was checking out my Facebook, and this came, and then it's like I was transported way back in back in the 80s. So a lot of people, and I'll try to share the audio here, and let's see if we can hear it. But I'm gonna put it right there. Does anybody see that? Does anybody know who that is? Does anybody know who that is? That is Optimus Prime. Now, here's now the important thing and the exciting thing, especially for all the Tito techs. Again, that's why I'm saying this is like a Tito tech moment for me, because there is now a company that's focusing really on robotics, but now they partnered with Hasbro, who is the ones that brought us Transformers. This is and you can look at it right now. It is an auto converting Optimus Prime. I'll give you a moment to think about that. It is an auto converting Optimus Prime. Okay, I'm gonna scroll down just a little bit just for us to see. So I guess this is the one that created this particular toy. It is a RoboSen. I want you to check out how much this costs. It's $700 in Filipino peso. That is roughly 35,000 pesos. But it is a transforming Optimus Prime. It is auto converting, and it's programmable, and you can use your app. And it can talk. It talks. It talks. It doesn't just transform. It talks. And they actually have a video right here. So if you're watching this, prepared to be transported back to the 80s. Okay, let me try it. Let me see this. Can you hear it?
Fate rarely calls upon us at the moment of our choosing. Our legacy spans many generations. I am Optimus Prime. I've returned.
Can you hear the
more
background? Can you hear it?
Powerful than ever.
Can this be?
Introducing the world's first auto-converting, interactive, voice-enabled, programmable Autobot hero, Optimus Prime.
Greetings.
The Transformers toy that defined a generation comes to life by the command of your voice or mobile device. Standing an amazing 19 inches tall, 5,000 components finished with premium materials make this G1 Optimus Prime impressively authentic.
Decepticons detected.
60 microchips power the 27 high-performance servo motor joints, empowering Optimus Prime to fully auto-convert and operate in both robot and vehicle mode.
Let's go.
Control your Optimus Prime with an extensive library of voice commands, like attack,
Fire now.
or use the mobile app.
Well, that's awesome.
Every collector will
And
enjoy
it's
the
even
preloaded
walking.
actions, with more
Whoa.
to come via download, that unlock new features and the ability to create your own sequences with graphical programming within the app. Built by RoboSen and licensed by Hasbro, this limited edition Optimus Prime delivers endless ability
man.
to save the planet interactively.
Till all are one.
So all are one. Isn't that is just that's sick. I'm sorry if I'm getting like goosebumps and stuff. That is sick. It's an Optimus Prime. Let me put that back again on the screen, so just so that you guys would know. So it is basically a transforming Optimus Prime, automatic, programmable. As you can see, it can even like do some walking. It can talk and all that. You can use your phone and stuff. Man, I mean, now, okay, if I had 35,000 pesos or $700, like, to spare, I mean, seriously, I have nothing else to worry about. Or it can be, I can just say, this would be an excuse for me to what's happening. Here we go. It's an excuse for me for Christmas, right? This would be it. Now, the great thing is it does have accessories. Okay. It does have a battle axe, a blaster. It's got the charging cable. It's got, of course, the instructions guide, and it's got a travel case. A travel case. So this is really for those who are serious, with their, especially now. I mean, when we were kids, does anybody remember when we were kids? When we were kids, we couldn't afford or even our parents, we couldn't even afford to have. Well, it's not like we can't afford. I mean, we could if we wanted to, but of course, we had money to put it somewhere or use it somewhere. But now maybe some of us, and this is what I've noticed too, when like I go to toy stores, and not just your typical like Toys R Us stores, but really like the more professional professional kind of toy stores. There are really a lot of like older generation people like me who actually buy these toys because they enjoyed them when they were kids. They never got the opportunity to play or buy when they were kids. But now that they're working and they are, you know, they've got the moolah and the money to buy them, and it's actually, in all honesty, this is a very exciting time to be a kid at heart with toys like this. It's a very exciting time to be a kid of heart. So if I had like $700 to spare, I would definitely buy an Optimus Prime. This one, not just something that's standing in a corner, but this one. Maybe I can talk to it. Maybe I can program it to you know dance Macarena or something. So you can already understand my you have an idea of how old I am. You know what I'm talking about. But anyway, this for me is a great, great, great toy. So I don't know, of course, it's a limited edition. I don't know how limited it is. And I don't know if we're gonna find one here in the Philippines. Maybe we will. Not sure how much it would cost. For sure, it's going to cost an arm and a leg. That's for sure. But nevertheless, hey, you know, this might be something that you may like. So go right ahead, go and get it. All right. So well, that's just two things I'm going to share to you today, with regards to news. Thank you so much again, LG. More power to you. I'm sure you guys are going to do great work in other fields. And I think personally, I think it's a great move that you can allocate your resources. At least you tried, and I do hope that you were able to gain some traction when it comes to the technology, when it comes to people who bought your product, and well, just continue focusing on the other things that you believe will be that you can be a greater help. Okay, now. So let's go to our question of the day. Now, before we go to that, again, for those who are just tuning in, I am your Tito of Tech, Rodney Garcia, the host of Curious Talk Live. And not just that, but we are also, I'm also the one in charge of this particular YouTube channel called Curious Tech Live. And we want to encourage you to please subscribe, watch, like, comment, and share our videos. We are still in the 600 mark. We're still waiting for people to hopefully subscribe some more. And hey, if you're out there, you still have not subscribed, please do subscribe. We're also on Twitter. We're also actually, we just started on TikTok, TikTok. So it's not just dancing anymore on TikTok. But we're there. We're there as well. I mean, again, we're trying to do everything that we can to get ourselves noticed. Again, we're also on Facebook, fb.com/Curious Tech Life. And again, thank you for joining us tonight. Now, our episode for tonight is this: remember life before the internet. Maybe some of us here today don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe some of you do. But if you are, then you are more than welcome to join us in our conversation tonight. We want to know. We want to hear you. We want to see what your opinions are. Now, there are different ways to be part of our conversation tonight. Okay. What are the different ways to be part of our conversation tonight? Number one, you can actually be part of our conversation tonight by chatting, by responding on the chat. What do you call that? The chat line, right? And the chat room. So whether you are with us on Facebook, whether you are with us on YouTube, you can send over your your comments right there, and we'll be more than happy to respond to your comments. In fact, we can even display it on the screen. So I'm gonna type something here. So post your answers here. Post your comments or answers here. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. So again, our question for today is, or our topic for tonight is, remember life before the internet. Now, here's an interesting fact. A lot of 20 something folks that are living right now, all the boys and girls out there, excuse me, all the young men and women out there are actually in their 20s. They were born during the time when the internet is just got started. Okay, it was started about 20-25 years ago. So um, a lot of our a lot of the people that are living right now in their 20s, 2025, did not did not see a time without the internet. They were already practically living with the internet as they grew up. But for those who are probably late 30s, early 40s and beyond, you guys, I'm part of that generation. We did not have internet when we were kids. So tonight we are going to take a step back, a look back. This is going to be a great learning experience for all the millennials out there, or everyone who has not lived without internet. And this is going to be a great flashback for those who are like my age. Oh, by the way, I forgot to share this. If you are, we are opening up what we call the Curious Talk Live Tech Line. What are we talking about? I just thought about that name. I might change the name next week because it might sound lame. But what am I talking about? Here's what we're gonna do. If you are here watching us and you want to share and be part of the show, meaning live on video or on audio, if you got a phone or on a laptop and say, hey, I want to share my thoughts not just on chat but on video, there is the link at the bottom of the screen, bit.ly/curious CTL, sorry, CTL line. It's all on caps, and we'll put it on screen. Let me put this on the chat line just so that people will be able to see that. Okay, we're gonna put it there on the chat line. So when you click that, or when you go to that link, you're going to be introduced to a screen. You're going to see my face there, or this video stream there, and then you can just put your name there, and then you're going to pop here on my console, and then I will let you know. I'll let you in. And it's up to you if you want to share on audio, you want to share video. Maybe you don't look presentable tonight and you just want to, talk and share. Hey, go right ahead. Okay. So I don't know. Are there curious and courageous people out there who are willing to go on air? Hey, there's the link, and go right ahead. Go and be part of the discussion. Now, again, like what I was saying earlier, the ones who are living right now, 20 years old and above, they did not, or 20 years old and below, rather, they grew up without, or they grew up with the internet. Okay, so that's why it's kind of difficult for them to realize life without the internet, because they grew up with it, right? But for some of us, specifically for my age, we grew up without the internet. All right. There was a time where there was no internet. There was a time when the only means of entertainment for us was the television. In fact, there was even a time on television in the Philippines when we only have 5 channels. In the United States, they used to have only 3 channels. I believe it was ABC, NBC, and CBS. They only have 3 channels. And then when cable arrived, then that basically opened up the possibilities of having more channels. Of course, they do have these community channels or local channels, as we call them. But the three major channels they had were only three. In the Philippines, we had five. We had five TV channels before. We had channel 2, 4, where we usually watch basketball. You guys remember that? 7, 9, when we usually check the time. When you want to check the time, you go to channel 9. That kind of rhymes. And then channel 13. So yes, I don't know how old you are, Jopet, when you were young, but we had five channels, and yes, I know it's pathetic, but yeah, but that's great too. Plus, people exercise while they're watching TV. You know why? Because there wasn't really a lot of remote controls during our time, so people actually got up and had to change the channel during our time. So there was a time we didn't have YouTube. If you wanted to watch a movie, we didn't have Netflix. We rented our films. And this was even before Blockbuster Video, or does anybody remember ACA Video or Video City? We had Betamax during that time. Oh my gosh, I'm just like revealing everything about my age right now. So during the time we didn't have internet, everything that we wanted, if we wanted to have entertainment, there was something separate for that. It's either we watched a home video or we went to the movies. Or if we wanted to communicate with people, we used a landline phone. And we memorized numbers. If we couldn't memorize the numbers, we had a phone book or a phone, a little piece of paper, and that's what we used. That's what we did, right? And so life before the internet was very challenging in a sense, but it was also a great time because uh, life without the internet before meant that we had to explore um, ways for us to get occupied. um, I think we can talk about the negative and the positive of life without the internet, but I do remember a time when um, we had time to actually go out and spend with friends physically. I mean, even before this pandemic, we could actually sit down, talk with people without phones in front of us, and just talk. And I still remember conversations with friends that involve life and love life. And when you're a kid, when you're young, you talk about life and love life. Basically, you don't talk about politics, you don't talk about religion, you don't talk about these things. um, you talk about, sometimes we talk about video games. Of course, we study, but again, life before the internet, I would say it was a simple life, simply because we were we had to find ways to keep ourselves positively preoccupied. Okay, some people preoccupy themselves with drinking and drugs and all of that. I never went to that. So I was just really just hanging out with my buddies on in our home. So yeah, so during the time we didn't have we didn't have internet. We would either talk on the phone, call somebody, or we would just sit down talking. Um, in terms of researching for school, we just really paid attention to our teachers. We really just did our best, and I think that also was a challenge for a lot of teachers, because there was it's either you need to have more resources to have like encyclopedias and stuff. When we have to research on certain things, we didn't have Wikipedia. We had encyclopedias. We had Does anybody remember encyclopedias? That was actually one of the things. I remember now when I was a kid. I would that would be one of the things I wanted on my birthday. I wanted to have a set of encyclopedias. But encyclopedias are expensive. They are very expensive, and seriously, right now, thinking about it, it was a good thing that we didn't like invest in one, because information just changed every year, and your encyclopedia would be uh, out of date for already a year or two, right? So, well, it's still factual, but not as updated as you want it to be. But we didn't have internet, and when because of that, we would go to libraries. Does anybody remember a library? Does anybody remember the Dewey Decimal System? I hope I'm not boring you, but I'm hoping also this would be a flashback for some of us, because nowadays, if you wanted to learn more about something, whatever topic, all you just needed is a phone. All right. There was a time we didn't have phones. We wanted to learn something. Uh, let's not just talk about the library. We had CD-ROMs. Wow, those are high tech during our time. CD-ROMs where you can actually have those information on the CD-ROM, put it on a computer, and it's there. And to me, basically, when I saw that, that was like a super breakthrough for me, because I could find information on a CD-ROM, right? But that was internet for us. We didn't have internet, but we did have libraries. Analog days, yes, Jopet, analog days. Well, not really analog days. We did actually have computers that time, and CD-ROMs, but not like right now when you have a phone and you want to find out more things, you know, and the internet was there. But not before, in our time, we didn't have those. Um, to me, it is a good and a bad thing in a way, because it's good because the information that you had was information that went through a filtering. Like if you had like a Collier's encyclopedia or an Encyclopedia Britannica, you know that those are legit information. Nowadays, when you go to the internet and you check out a blog or a vlog or a site or even Wikipedia, you don't even know which is true or not, right? Because anybody can write anything right now. And in fact, anybody who just believes whatever they see on the internet today, because it's in the internet, it must be real, right? So, so at least before the internet, if you remember life before the internet, then a lot more things were more information was a little bit more factual. Of course, you can say, well, people can always share rumors, yeah, but not as quick as now. Because nowadays, uh, people can always type, write, and share something uh, online, and people can think that it's for real, right? So again, hey, let me ask you: are you here today? You're watching us, and you want to share your thoughts live on video, on or audio? I want you to click on that link right there, or go to that link right there, and I dare you to go online with me and share, and maybe you want to talk a little bit and share your thoughts. Maybe you're someone who again, maybe you're someone who lived during a time when there was no internet. Maybe you want to share that. Or maybe you lived in a time wherein, well, all I knew was there was an internet, where there was a flashy thing in the corner of near the phone. Or uh your baby pictures were already on Instagram. My baby, I can't even find my baby pictures. That's sad, really, because I can't even share it on my account. But you're here, you want to share, you want to be part of a conversation, please go to bit.ly/ and all caps CTL tech line, and then you're gonna pop up right here, and you're gonna be part of our conversation. Again, I encourage you, come on, just try it out. So if you're shy, you don't you think that I'm not ready for my face to be online, and you just want to share on audio, then yeah, maybe that's something that we can do. You can just cover the camera or something. All right. So again, our topic for tonight is remember life before the internet. Now, again, we do remember life before the internet, and I think that's also an advantage for people who are in their 40s and their 50s, because we get to have a way to compare life before the internet and life after the internet, the pros and the cons. And and I think for those are who live a life without the internet, I think we were pushed to be more creative with things that we would do. And we would be pushed more uh, to be more determined. I would say that. I'm not saying now that the ones who are using the internet, I mean, I'm using the internet now, but I do remember if I wanted to learn more about, painting or writing or a drawing, I don't just sit around and fiddle with my phone. I actually go and find uh, someone who can help me out. Hey, Ida, thank you for saying staying online. Why are your emojis like that? But thank you for joining us. At least I know you're watching. So I remember, like, if I wanted to draw, I would enroll in a workshop right now, and it really pushed me to learn because the workshop will only be for like 2 weeks and all of that. Nowadays, if you want to learn more about crafts, you just go on pages like Udemy or Masterclass, and you can learn from there. And again, for me, when before the internet, it was quite tougher, but I think it also helped people to be more determined because they knew that if they will be learning stuff or doing stuff, that they need to exert effort. All right, now again, um, let me say that again because I just really want to try this out. If you're out there, you want to share your thoughts on video, please go to that link, put your name there, and then you're going to be with me on the show. I want to hear from you. Or if you're a little camera shy, be part of the discussion by uh, going to the going to the chat line. Okay, so so again, let me give you that question again. There are like 5 people online. Hey, don't just watch. Go be part of the conversation. Do you remember life before the internet? Please go to the chat and um, share your thoughts. Share your thoughts. I want to read your thoughts. I want to read your comments. Maybe you're a millennial and you cannot live without the internet. Tell me why. Okay, or you can't imagine life without the internet? Maybe you can put it there. I want to hear from you. All right, so honestly, the internet has really changed not just our lives for the better, but sometimes for the worse. And I think one of the things I remember, and I was talking to my wife the other day about bullying. I remember how bullying was somehow confined in the school, meaning you only get bullied in school. It doesn't necessarily follow you at home. Um, of course, bullying is bad, and I don't favor that. Do not be a bully. But when it was my time, it was in my generation when we were talking about bullies. They bullied you in the school, right? Nowadays, you get bullied online. You either get bullied, cyber bullied by someone posting on your profile, or worse, posting pictures and video. And you didn't have to wait for it to be developed. They just snatch, give you, just snap it and then upload it because everybody's got mobile internet right now. So I think for me, I remember life before without the internet, and I think it's just bullying. I think everybody gets bullied somehow. It's either but I think it's even worse now. I think more people get more stressed out with bullying because of the internet. And again, if you have the internet, don't use it for evil, guys. Use it for good. Use it to make things better. It's meant to make life better, not worse for your life or for somebody else's life. Okay, there you go. Finally, Judah. There is a message from Judah. Thank you. I remember watching anime only through TV, local TV channel. I remember playing music through cassette tapes and CD players. There you go. There you go. Yes, I do remember that. I remember watching anime. I believe it's either you're watching it on local TV or on cable TV. Um, I've been watching anime since I was a kid. Voltes 5. So yeah, so that was life before anime. Sorry, life before the internet. But now that we have the internet, you can watch it on YouTube. I actually have this website I go to. It's called Retro Channel. You can go and Google that Retro Channel. They have current and old animes. And when I say old, I'm talking about really the old ones. Like just earlier, about a few minutes ago, I actually checked out Retro Channel. They have Voltes Fire there, which is one of the topics we're going to be talking about in this channel one of these days. Voltes 5, we're going to put there. Um, and the other ones. Yeah. So playing music through cassette tapes and CD players. Yeah. Yeah. I had that. In fact, my bag was heavier simply because of my cassette tapes. That's why we had mixtapes. So for those of you who are thinking, what's a mixtape? I remember someone, I distinctly remembered explaining someone, okay, this is what you call a mixtape. What's a mixtape? A mixtape is basically all the songs that you can compile in a blank cassette tape. So that's a mixtape. So thanks, Judah, for joining in. I appreciate the ones who are watching today. So Judah, okay, let me just someone actually took the 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 link. So let's see. Are you there? Let's see. Who's this?
Hello? Hello? I'm Mr.
Hey.
X.
Mr. X. Is that your name?
Yes, I'm an anonymous.
You're
the-
anonymous. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So Mr. X, what is any comments on remembering life before the internet?
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, I loved getting lost. Like,
You love getting lost.
yeah, there's no GPS back then.
There was
So,
no that's true. There was no
yeah,
GPS.
it's scary.
And it's scary. It's scary.
I'm glad I know how to talk to people back then. So
That's good. It's scary. It's like Mariah. Mariah's scary. Ah.
yeah.
Yeah. So you do remember life before the internet when you were getting lost. I do remember getting lost,
Yeah.
especially when you had nobody to ask for directions.
Yeah.
And you just try to figure out, remember landmarks and stuff like that. Is there anything else that you remember with before when you didn't have internet, when you were younger? I don't say when you were a kid, but you were younger.
A lot of things. A lot of things. The
Lot of
books.
things.
The books are
Oh
awesome.
yeah, books were awesome.
Sniffing the books, comics. Yeah.
Sniffing the book. No, I know. I'm just laughing. I'm just. Pardon me if I'm laughing a little
Yeah,
bit.
it's okay.
But I do know. I do know what you're talking about because there is nothing like holding a book. Not just that. Like even comic books. I actually had a phase in my life when I would go to comic books and remember when you would open a comic book, especially if it's a new one, and you don't open it like that. You open it like this. You would actually read it like that because you want to make sure it still looks like mint condition. Yeah, and the smell and of paper and all of that. Yeah, but nowadays, I mean, again, there's nothing wrong with Kindle and reading books. I mean, I love Amazon. I love Kindle because there are books that I want to buy, but I have to wait for it, or it's more expensive to buy it and have it shipped. So it's better that. But yeah, there are certain things that unfortunately technology cannot be a replacement to.
They can't
Right?
imitate that part. Yeah.
That's right. Anything else, Mr. X?
Um, talking to people. Back then you need to talk to people. Just
Back
random
then-
stuff.
Back
You
then
meet
you need
people along the streets and then you say hi. I remember.
You're very friendly, Mr. X.
Yeah.
You just
man.
talk to someone out there and say hi.
Yeah, and just sit
Man.
on the road and then
Yeah,
talk to people.
talk to people.
Now
yeah.
it's really hard to talk to people.
That's true. That's true. Have you
Thus, it's
ever talked to
dangerous.
someone right now whom, like, even for 5 minutes, did not check their phone?
No, it's impossible.
Right? Even if it's like face to face, you're talking to somebody face to face, you've got your like drink or whatever, and then, you know, and then they just look. So it's kind of impossible right now. Yeah. There might, who knows, next time you talk to someone face to face, you can have like a agreement. Hey, let's not talk with our phones. Let's talk, let's turn it off and put it on sleep mode or something like that. But anyway, thank you so much,
Thank
Mr.
you.
X,
Thank
for
you for listening.
joining in. Hopefully next week you can join in as well.
Sure,
Thank you
sure.
so much.
No
Appreciate it,
problem.
Mr. X. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. X. Thank you. And okay, so again, that is our first caller. Hey, Mr. X, thanks, appreciate it. Judah, life without the internet taught me about waiting. That's true. And waiting is hard. Nowadays, since we're talking about waiting, um, does anybody remember dial up? Does does anybody does anybody remember dial up internet? So that was waiting. I mean, you want to download something, that was waiting. I mean, nowadays, people would go to the internet and say, oh, bagal ng website. Man, during our time when we had the internet before, man, I'll tell you, like you go to a website, it's like it's still, I could probably, prepare a sandwich, make juice or coffee, probably do my laundry, and whatever I'm downloading is still not downloading. Then what happens is like you're 99%. Does anybody remember this? You're 99%, and then somebody lifts the phone, and and your internet line is cut, and then yep, that's what life is. Yep, you're right, Judah. And one more message from Judah. He says this is great content, nostalgic. Yes, this is for all the titos out there, but not just all for the titos and the titas, by the way, but it's also for everyone. So, kids, those who are watching us, maybe you're watching live, maybe you're watching us on a delayed telecast. I hope you're learning something. And for all the titos and the titas out there, I hope you're remembering something. And Ida says, 3 thumbs up. Thank you, Ida. Really appreciate that. 3 thumbs up. All right. So, is there somebody else out there who is willing to go online? We do have about 8 minutes left um, before we end our stream, and incidentally, again, we want to let you know that encourage you to go to our YouTube channel. You might be watching this live and you're not a subscriber to our YouTube channel. Please go to youtube.com/Curious Tech Life, and we are churning out videos every week on tech related things, and we're having this live stream every Monday night because hey, we want to stay relevant and we want to have a conversation with you. People need somebody to talk to. I need somebody to talk to, especially about these things. So let's share your thoughts. And not only that, please follow us on Twitter. And not only that, and you may be watching us already on Facebook. Please do go and hey, like our content, like our page. And one more thing, if you do have a topic in mind and you want to suggest it, we want to consider that. Please reach out to us to curioustechlife@gmail.com, and maybe you can suggest to us our next topic, and maybe a topic that I haven't thought about. I haven't thought of putting it here, but you say, hey, let's talk about this. Hey, let's, what about this one? What about that one? Let's talk about it. Hey, let's put it here. So please go and visit, or sorry, go and email us at curioustechlife@gmail.com. And maybe we have one more time, or we have some time for one more person who can join us. Maybe you want to share your thoughts live on video or an audio, just go to that link right there. There's still a little bit more time, and we're going to give you that as well. Let me check the chat lines. We want to thank everyone who joined us here tonight with the chat lines, both on Facebook and on YouTube. Well, we have 5 minutes to go. So let me just wrap it up, okay? We want to be respectful of the time. Now, the great thing about the internet is that it has brought together the world. It has made the world so much smaller. It has truly made life easier. It has made life um, uh, it's made life more interesting because information is readily available. Anyone who has the thirst to learn things can just go online and go on YouTube. In fact, what you're watching right now is all because of me checking out different channels and learning on YouTube and learning as we go, as we come out with every episode and every video. It's all because of YouTube, and it's all because of the information that's available out there. Because of the internet, we are able to communicate not just through audio, but even now through video. And it's much more uh, affordable compared to life before. However, I do remember life before the internet, and I do remember how life was simple in a sense because there were things that I was more focused about. My attention span was more focused on what I can do that moment, and how the lack of the internet pushed me to be more creative and finding ways on making things work for my behalf. And I think one of the things there is that it helped me create more meaningful relationships. Today I get to meet more people, and I get to you know talk to more people right now online, and that's great. Through Zoom and through even here. But there is sometimes the internet, as much as it does connect people, it can also separate us. It can also distract us. So the internet is a good thing and it's also a bad thing. And let me say this before we go. If there are moments you feel that you're suffocating because of your internet life, it's okay to take a pause. It's okay to turn off your phone and just you know get yourself acquainted with real life, real life that you know it. And it's okay to disconnect sometimes. That's okay, because you need to recuperate. Again, it's a different life. Nowadays it's a different life, but you still have control of your life. The internet should not control you. You should control the internet. And if you're here today and you're watching this, let me say one more thing before we go back to the comment section. There's actually one more comment section here. The internet is a wonderful tool. It has brought so much good, but it's also brought so much evil in the world. And my question to you today is, which side are you? Are you part of the good guys that are using the internet for good, or are you using the internet for evil things? Are you using the internet to make things better for you and for the people that you love and for the tribe that you're part, the society you're part of, a community you're part of, or the other way around? So from this day forward, for sure, when you hear about life before the internet, it's either people who are older than you that will appreciate that. And you're going to hear that from them as part of history. And from this generation forward, you're going to be surrounded with the internet in any way, shape, or form. But even if you do have the internet in your life, don't let your life be all about just the internet. There's more to life than the internet, guys. All right. So go, have conversations, go out and when all this pandemic is done, go travel, go appreciate nature. I think that would be a great topic for next week. I already have an idea, more or less, what's going to happen next week. But again, thank you so much for joining us today. Let me read some more comments. Here's Ida. It says here, she says, no Google then, but we had encyclopedias, actual thick and hardbound encyclopedias. I mean, those encyclopedias are not just weapons for your mind, but they're literal weapons because they are that thick. You can hit someone on the head and they can actually bleed. Uh, and she adds, encyclopedias were like a status symbol then. Yes. Nowadays, your status symbol is either your phone or what's on your social profile. But before, our status symbol was the encyclopedia. And if you have loads and loads of encyclopedias in your home, then you must be rich. So, okay, yes, we do have floppy disks. Let's bring back the floppy disks. Let's bring them back. Nostalgia, nostalgia, nostalgia. Again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate you to be part of Tech Curious Talk Live. I need to practice all the more every day about that. Again, we want to let you know, reach out to us on Curious Tech Live at gmail.com if you want to suggest a new topic. And who knows, we might be able to talk about that here. And again, please do go to youtube.com/Curious Tech Live to subscribe, watch, like, comment, and share. We need all the help that we can get. Also, you can follow us on Twitter with our handle Curious Tech Life, and of course on Facebook. Please do like our page so that we can give you alerts if we are going to be having our online discussions, and not just that, but even our live stream every Monday night. Please do join us every Monday night, Manila time. We don't know really what time it is in your area, but please do join us every Monday night at 10 p.m. as we talk about tech and we talk about life in general. And not just that, but you might learn a thing or two. Again, this is the Tito of Tech. This is Rodney Garcia, your host for Curious Talk Live, saying thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again soon. We'll see you next week, guys. God bless you, and have a safe week.